Hello and welcome back to this briefing. Today we're talking about conquering the identity and access management challenges in the Amazon AWS cloud. First, we're going to focus on these first two requirements, securing the Amazon root account and activating multi-factor authentication for that account. Unfortunately, just securing the root account is not enough. We want to add additional controls, but just using a rudimentary multi-factor solution is not going to cut it, especially in an enterprise environment. The good thing is that Centrify provides the Identity Service. Identity Service is a platform that provides federation, enterprise mobility management, and reverse proxying. However, it does have a great capability, which is the ability to publish an application, a web application like the AWS Console, and you can do it with a shared account that the user does not know the password, and you can protect the application with multi-factor authentication. So when I click on this application, what's going to happen is that I'm going to be prompted by the system to provide an additional level of authentication. So let's see. And notice that I have several ways that I can receive this. I can receive it as an email, as an SMS, as a security question, or a phone call. However, this user has registered a mobile device that does have certificates tied to it. It's tied to this user identity. So when the user wants to press next here, you're going to get a workflow-like capability that is going to ask you to approve or deny. But notice the additional information like the IP address and the approximate location of where the request is coming from. This is more relevant information for the modern enterprise. And when I press approve, RESTful APIs are going to submit the information automatically. So here I try to do it the hardest way, so I get prompted many times. But notice that this is going to satisfy my need, and what you'll see is that I'll be able to access that account no problem. So this is the original dashboard that provides access to the person who set up the service. But MFA only takes you a little way. Let's take a look at it a little bit in depth, right? So if I wanted to look at the cloud manager, I can look at this application, right? And how was this application published, right? So it was published, and notice the user access that I can always only allow it to certain people that belong to certain roles to have the application available. I can tie policy to it, including that the application should only be allowed to be used from internally in the enterprise. I can tie strong authentication, or I can have several types of criteria for access control. In the account management tab, I can specify which account is going to be used for that. And once the user and password have been put in, that's going to be injected automatically for the end user. So they won't have the ability to go ahead and change the password because they never had the current password in the first place. If I click on advanced, I can have additional ways to control, and even a change log that shows me who's modified the application recently. If I need to meet some security requirements and I need to know who's launched applications lately, I can basically go and get my built-in reports. So I can go by application, and we're going to have reports pre-generated for you that are going to be able to satisfy this need. So for example, if I wanted to see what are the most common used web apps, I can always generate that information. And if I look at, for example, AWS, there it is. In addition, the dashboards are not only going to tell me where my applications, what applications are being launched recently, but also which location these applications are being launched from. And I'm hoping that this showed you how you can secure the AWS root account and how you can add multi-factor authentication. In the next video, we're going to talk about how we can enforce role-based access control, because ideally you will never touch this account. This account has billing information, probably personal information tied to it. So ultimately what we want to do is provide end users only with the rights that they need within the Amazon cloud.